What's up? What's up? What's up, family? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Are y'all feeling the Connect TV? Connect TV, Connect. That's my joint, Connect TV. Shout out to Aaliyah Wheeler, my partner. We make this music. So we're going to get into it today, y'all. Hope you're having a good morning. Auntie Dee got her little flat look on today. I've been performing a lot, and my hair's been sweating, so Auntie Dee done washed her hair this morning. K. Hey, Heather. Hey, baby. So it's a good day. It is a good day. It's Tuesday. And I want to talk about something that is really important. As I have gone through my journey of life, I have listened to a lot of people, a lot of public speakers, a lot of motivational speakers, a lot of preachers that can preach, and some that can't. But a lot of preachers. And a lot of them speak about failing in one way or another. And Denzel speaks about failing as well. But I actually I've encountered my own situations of failure. And while I might have thought that they were failure in that moment, I realized they weren't failure. They were actually the steps to success. So the steps to success is they are failing. Excuse me, y'all. I just want y'all to know something. So I'm in the kitchen today, right? Because it's a little weird and funky outside, and they're doing landscaping. I don't want to keep getting bothered and having to move and all that other stuff. But these are my favorite. If you ever want to buy Auntie Dee something, it's the Aha Passion Fruit. I don't want much, but Aha Passion Fruit. If you see it, go ahead and get it for me. All right, so let's talk about failing. Why am I talking about failing today? Last week was a week of failure for me. I mean, I'm going to be transparent with you. I'm not always going to keep talking to you from a space of giving you advice. I'm going to share with you what's happening in my life. Last week was a week of failure. When I tell you it was a week of failure, anything that could go wrong went wrong. I think the broadcast went wrong a couple of days. It was just a bunch of things that started happening. My grandfather always said, when God bless, the devil mess. So God had blessed my mother and I to have a really great Mother's Day. We went and stayed, somewhere for the weekend, got to see my family, found out some people were having babies. It was just an amazing weekend. It was really, really good. I get back and it was like one thing after the next, one thing after the next. So I'm like, man, there's a lot of failure going on. I'm feeling like, I need an assistant. It's all types of stuff happening. And God began to speak to me. He was like, keep failing, keep failing, keep failing, keep failing. I'm like, what you talking about, God? Right? What you talking about, God? He said, keep failing, keep failing, keep failing. Okay, cool. So then the week started turning around. The week started turning around Wednesday, Thursday. The week started turning around. I'm like, oh, I see why you said keep failing, because it gets me into a space of after each failure, I'm able to look at the data from what I failed from, and I'm able to apply it to something else, and I'm able to be better because of the failure. I actually find success in the failure. So I was with it. After you failed and you get the lesson, you're with it. You're like, yes, I got the lesson. I'm with it. Thank you, God. I got it. Yeah, but After that, there's some other stuff that you have to do. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So my first thing to you is to fail fast. You got to fail fast. You cannot procrastinate with this thing. You cannot say, oh, I'll get to it. I'll get to the failure. I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't want to be this. I don't want people to see me. I don't want people to think this thing about me. No, you've got to fail fast. And when it happens, embrace the failure, right? And we're not perfect individuals. And one thing I learned while I was failing is perfection is projection. When you feel like you've got to be perfect, you actually project your insecurity out there. When you feel like you have to be perfect, you actually project the things that are happening within you that have not been resolved. You project those things. So I started realizing that perfection was actually a projection of what was really going on inside of me. And that's one of the reasons why you actually need to fail fast. Nothing's going to be perfect. You got to keep doing it. Nothing's going to be perfect. So failing is not an option. It's actually a prerequisite to success. So continue to fail fast, embrace failure, and stop procrastinating. Get to it. The quicker you fail, the quicker you do something that you're supposed to do or that you want to do and find out that it's not what you want to do, that's the quicker you have success, because you found out that's not what I really want to do. Now I can go and put my energies into something else. Or on the flip side, the quicker you get to something that you do want to do and you stay consistent, you remain consistent with that, and you're constantly fueling yourself in that, you find out, wow, this is really what I want to do. I'm so glad I did it, right? So stop procrastinating. Stop saying, I'm going to start that business in like 3 years. We don't know if we have 3 years. First of all, I don't even trust America right now, okay? Anything can happen. Anything can happen in this moment. So you have to really go forward. Fail fast. Remember, perfection is a projection. Stop procrastinating. Go and get it. Because guess what? The quicker you fail, the quicker you'll succeed. You find so many lessons in your failures. It's like, oh, okay, I can't do it like that. Oh, I tried to dye my hair with Kool-Aid. I remember back in the day, we were dyeing our hair with Kool-Aid. That was a failure. That was a quick failure. We failed fast. We realized, ooh, we're not going to be dyeing our hair with Kool-Aid. We're going to have to figure out a different kind of way to dye our hair because the Kool-Aid is just not working. So the quicker you fail, the quicker you are going to succeed. All right. Perfection is not a destination. It's an inspiration. So I know we strive for perfection. We want it to be right. And that's good. You should strive for perfection, but it's not a place that you're trying to get to. It's an inspiration. It's a motivation for you to do things in excellence, for you to do things that are great, for you to do things that are perfectly presented, but not for you to be perfect, if that makes sense. I hope it makes sense. So my second point is to fail forward. All right. So back in the day, many of you know, I grew up living next to the church, and I was across the street from the project, LHP, right? And one of the first things I was taught is when you're in the car, just in Black culture, period. When you're in the car and the cops are behind you, you better not look back. You better not look back. You keep looking forward, right? You keep looking forward. And that's the same thing for failing forward. Keep looking forward. Why? Because when you look back, you cleave to it. When you look back, you're actually calling it to you when you look back. And when you look forward, you leave it. So when you look back, you cleave it. Oh, I want it. Oh, I miss it. Oh, I need it. Oh, I want you to come to me. So I'm going to fail backwards. But when you fail forward, when you look forward, you leave it. Leave that stuff that's behind you. Forgetting those things that are behind you, right? It's behind you. You failed already. Get the lessons, extract the data, do what you need to do so that you can become who you need to become, and you can do what you need to do. My third point, we moving through this today. I love y'all. This is just, it's been on my heart because I had such a crazy week last week. And because I failed so much last week, I realized what God was showing me. I failed with the network. I failed with a couple of my clients, not in their deliverables, but in the way that I wanted to share some things with them. I personally failed. It wasn't a failure, for their business or my business, but I personally failed in the way that I wanted to present something something or deliver something. So they still received what they needed, but I personally failed, and I realized why I failed. But with the broadcast, with my clients, with my business, I realized my business is expanding so much, and I need some help and just all these things. So I was experiencing a lot of failures, and then I experienced success. But then, y'all, I experienced another failure. And this is why I'm saying fail often. I experienced another failure on Friday. Shout out to my friend. She knows who she is. I'm not going to put her out there like that, but she invited me to, I got this little swoopy bang, y'all. I'm trying to tell y'all, it's crazy. It got that little hump that it got that Easter Sunday hump. But anyways, my friend invited me out on Friday, and we had a good, when I say good time, it was a good time. We had a good time. I hadn't been out anywhere seriously since the pandemic. I've been going little places, but I don't try to be on the scene because COVID was real and business was real as well. And I was trying to manage a whole church's production and a team. So it was crazy. But I went out on Friday, had an amazing time, met some amazing people, men and women, and we had a good time. It was great. It was fun. Everything was amazing. I come out, y'all. Guess what happened? My car got broken into. What? How are you having a good time and your car gets broken into, right? I'm having a great time, but then my car gets broken into. And I'm like, wow, like what's really happening here? What's going on? Well, when I was riding around, something told me, it was the spirit, something told me you need to park in the parking deck, or you need to find a parking garage. And even if you don't find one right now, you need to wait around a little bit until somebody leaves or find some other kind of situation. My tale, I wanted to be quick, fast, because I was a little bit late. They got there like 5 o'clock. I didn't get there till 8. I had a number of things to do, but I ended up parking in the parking lot, and I parked back toward like this really dark area. Long story short, they broke into the car. How about when I got into the car? I wasn't even mad. I'm like, okay, they didn't even take anything. I'm like, y'all should have came and found me in the restaurant. I would have gave you what you needed, right? But nothing was taken, but my car was broken into. So I'm like, man, this is another failure. However, it wasn't. So your perspective, you've got to always make sure your perspective is on. I had a wedding the next day to perform at. I had a number of things that were happening that I had to do. And I realized that God was putting me in a place for this season that my current pastor has spoken over my life. He said, this is your season to receive. But how are you going to receive if you're always doing it for yourself? How are you going to receive if you're always succeeding? How are you going to receive if you're always in a place where you're kind of blocking the receipt of anything? So the fact that my car had gotten broken into, I had to connect with one of the people one of my bandmates. I'm like, look, I don't think, I'm going to be able to make it to the wedding because I have to figure out what's going on with this window. Praise the Lord that my deductible is only $150, but I have to figure out, what shop it's going to go to. They got to get the estimate. It's like a lot of things to do. And I just really don't think that I'm going to be able to make it. And I felt so bad because anybody that knows me, I love to perform. I love to sing. This is what I do. I love to do it. So I was feeling really bad. I'm like, man, I hate to let y'all down. Bandmate was like, girl, you don't have to worry about it. I'm coming to get you. But the coming to get you is not the part. He lived 2.5 hours away and came to get me to travel 2.5 hours to the gig, to then in return drive back and then drive back to his home 2.5 hours away. And it wasn't no funny business. This dude ain't trying to talk to me. I ain't trying to talk to him. It was none of that. It was simply God saying, because of your failures, you can now succeed in other areas that there was not success in prior to your failures. So you have to fail often and make sure your perspective, there go that little Sunday morning bang. You have to make sure your perspective is on point so that you can see what God is trying to tell you in the midst of your failure, right? So when you're failing often, measure the data from your failure. That's exactly what I keep doing in my entire life. I'm like, okay, I failed. What caused the failure, right? What caused the failure? How can I do that better? That's the measuring part that we don't get. We see failure, we see success. People say, oh, the steps to success, it's a failure. Yeah, but what do you do with that data that you get from the failure? You measure it. You measure it. See what's good, see what's not. You balance it. You become balanced because you're balancing the data from your failure. So make sure you measure the data from your failure. One of the things that irritates me the most is when we start doing things. I was a part of an organization where there would be event after event after event after event. And y'all know I'm Scrum Master to the day I die. And so the Scrum Framework says you need to have 4 ceremonies. And I'm going to be talking about Scrum and some other videos, but the Scrum Framework, just in basic, it's just a way for people to get things done quickly, for there to be transparency so everyone knows what's going on. There are pillars of Scrum, and there are 4 ceremonies in Scrum, and you sprint plan. We do things in sprints, and again, I will elaborate another time, but there are 4 ceremonies. There's sprint planning. There is a daily stand up for 15 minutes every day in the same place at the same time so that you can talk about what your impediments are, and the Scrum Master removes those impediments so that the team can keep working. The other ceremonies are a sprint review and a retrospective. A sprint review says, listen, you know what? How did this sprint go? The retrospective says, let's look at the data. What did we like? What did we love? What did we learn? But baby, what did we long for? What did not go right? And so I think a lot of times we need to adapt the Scrum ceremonies in our lives, plan that thing out, connect every day or as much as you can frequently, so to check and see, what did you do yesterday? What you doing today? What you doing tomorrow? What are your impediments? Remove those impediments, review what's happening, the data, right? And have the retrospective as to how you can make that thing better. So when you measure the data, you're able to apply the data to many of your new projects and everything else you have going on. So you have to keep failing so that you can have data. Right? Use feedback as facts. I can't stress this enough. Use feedback as facts. Feedback from your friends, feedback from your family, feedback from your clients, feedback from your customers, feedback from your teachers, feedback from your managers, feedback from everyone. Use it as facts. I'm not saying that you need to shape your life according to the facts, but what I am saying is listen to what they're saying. Last night, I was doing some stuff for my business, and I ordered some things, and what I ordered was not what was presented. So I kindly messaged the seller. I said, hey, the thing that you put down, to go that bang again, y'all, the thing that you put down on this listing is actually not accurate. It's not the same thing that I purchased. And if I would have known that we were going to have to edit in this software, I would have never purchased this. It wasn't even a large purchase. I think it was like $20-something, but I wanted to give her that feedback, because if I was one of the people who did not see the description, then I'm pretty sure a number of other people would have saw the description. Well, sister girl responds back and says, oh, I'm sorry that you didn't read. Baby, she said, I'm sorry that you didn't read, but that's the software we're editing in, and sorry that you didn't read and you had an unpleasurable experience. Oh, okay. So needless to say, I told her, I will be making a review. You don't have to worry about that at all ever again. I will be making a review, no worries. However, she should have used that feedback as facts. Okay, I made a review. We ain't gonna talk about that because that's factual, but that's not what we're gonna talk about. One of the things I said to her in the review, and it's the same thing that I said to her when I reached out to her originally, was your description and your listing, it's not clear. And whether I read or not, what you were saying about the software doesn't come down until like the 10th paragraph. No one is reading 10 paragraphs. They're just not. We would love for people to, but they're just not going to read all of that stuff. So I need you who are selling things, get to the point. Use your feedback, and not just for people that are selling things, but use feedback as facts. My friends used to tell me, when I was a director of worship and arts, they used to tell me sometimes when you come in, we don't know if you about to be mad, if you about to be happy. We kind of don't know which version of you we're going to get. And while that might seem like it may be hurtful, it's not. I didn't realize that everything that kind of was going on throughout this pandemic, I didn't realize everything that was going on was it was a projection of what I was feeling, and they were feeling that. So immediately I checked myself, use that feedback as facts. It's a fact and it's valid because it's coming from them. It's a fact because it's coming from them. And honestly, whatever you feel, that's your fact. That's your truth. That's your life. I can extract what can help me. So when you use feedback as facts, use what you can, extract what you can that's going to help you, and have it and listen from a space to understand and not to respond. You've got to listen to understand and not to respond. Everything does not warrant a response. Everything does not warrant you to elaborate on it. Everything does not need you to say, oh, I did that because, or, oh, it's happening like this because, or, oh, no. Sit with it. Sit with the feedback and use your feedback as facts and listen to understand what's happening and stop trying to respond. Listen, the more failure, the more success. I can tell you, the more failure, the more success. I have experienced it in my life. That's why I get to what? I get to failing often. Why? Because the more failure, the more success. The more you fail, the more you start having experience. And baby, experience is the best education you could ever have. So friends and family, I don't know what everybody coins it as now. I love you all, right? I love you all so very much. I want you to continue to fail. If you're failing, you're winning. Listen to that again. If you are failing, you are winning. Let it sit. If you're failing, you're winning. You want to know why? Because you're able to find out why you're failing, and you're able to try it again or try something else because that did not work. And now you're getting closer and closer to where God has for you to go. I love you folks. It's always fun rocking with y'all. The Connect Collective. I don't know if you can't see my shirt. Connect TV. Go this way. Connect TV. The Connect Collective and Connect TV are doing a number of things. Please stay tuned. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. There's some fun stuff coming up. Okay. I really want y'all to be a part of the If You Don't Know the Word, Don't Say It segment. If you don't know the word, don't say it. Listen, a lot of people, they don't know the words for real. And so they just get to saying stuff like, I don't mean to be really Pacific. If you don't get that you don't get that. If you don't know the word, don't say it. Baby, if you can't say specific, just don't even say it. I love y'all. Stay tuned while I go get my hair done. Listen, look, this bang is getting more Eastery by the minute. I love y'all. Have a great day. Don't you let nobody change your mood. Make sure you shift your perspective every time you're confronted with something, and watch how God continues to bless you. Y'all have a good day. You vibing with Auntie Dee. Love you.